Hello, and welcome to the Monster Sanctuary Tournament Circuit Grand Finals for the Grid Draft Tournament. I'm Flowing Juffawup.
And I'm Primer Dimer. This will be
And
the match. Oh, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
This will be the match between SmugLookingBarrel and Cutlex. And it's the
Yeah.
finals. As
So
mentioned.
here we see the way the draft shaked out. We've got some really strong monsters on both sides here. Got some key monsters highlighted that we expect to see, most likely.
Yeah, I see a bunch of buff synergies on Barrel's side with Bard and Rampede sticking out as a strong glory lead.
Yeah, it looks like both players might have hate drafted Glory so that the other couldn't have it, and then they both ended up Glory teams.
Yeah, there's a lot of buff synergies here on both sides.
Oh, interesting.
Cutlex seems a little out of place.
We've got a dark shifted Raduga over on Cutlex's side.
Interesting.
We've got a lot of debuffs on Barrel's side here, which when you have a Tanuki across from the field, might not be ideal.
I suspect a lot of that is there for the various charge synergies. I think we're going to see Oracle used primarily for like encapsulate.
Yeah. Yeah, the death blow on Rampede is probably not going to be as important as the buffs and the charge stacks in this match.
Yeah, and Bard has good debuff stack removal, so it'll be able to remove that blind that Tanuki passively applies when it heals, which is also very nice.
Yeah, the combination of Minasang and Mighty Boost.
Yeah. Yeah, and on Cutlex's side, we're getting a decent amount of glory stacking between Tanuki, Buff Mastery from Salahammer, and then obviously Raduga itself. Though it might take a turn to come online.
Yeah, it especially with the light shifted Salahammer, you tend to have a slower start. But when you can start stacking up those extra stacks of the buffs, it can really pay off.
Oh, Raduga grabs a kill right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I expect from Bard. It'll hang around and then immediately die when it gets breathed on.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to build it tanky while also giving it the instruments it needs to do what most people want to do with it.
Yeah, it's definitely constrained by that instrument passives that it has.
There was that one blind stack coming into play as it prevented the kill on Raduga with one miss there. Just barely missing the kill right before Phoenix Affinity popped.
Yeah, that would have been huge to take it out right there. But with the damage that you just saw there, I think it probably goes down this turn unless Rampede gets taken out.
It's certainly possible. There's plenty of magic damage on Cutlex's side.
Yeah. We are seeing 3 glory on Salahammer, 2 glory on Raduga right now, so they're going to be critting more often than not.
It also seems to be running a buckler because it has 3 barrier stacks. So I suspect, I suspect it's gonna also be a little bit harder to take out now that those are stacked up too.
Yeah, it's always nice having the buckler on there.
Yeah, it's not a common DPS item though. I don't think, at least not outside sidekick. But it's a good item. It's a good item for sure.
Anytime you need a little bit of defense and a little bit of crit, extra stacks, barrier and sidekick.
And Rampede went down there. And my experience with Magma Moth is that it needs a lot of time to set up, but it's also a little bit on the frail side.
This is an unshifted Magma Moth, isn't it? So it at least has the extra toughness granted from a gray pearl.
That is true. And with cleansing burn, potentially if they can set up enough burn, they can start removing some critical buffs. Although that might be a little bit hard with Tanuki still on the field.
Yeah, it gets in the way of so many things that people want to do with that curse resistance.
Yeah. Yeah, the curse resistance buff in the last patch, it was very significant, and it catapulted Tanuki to the forefront of the competitive scene, I think.
Yeah. I mean, curse resistance previously was just so bad. Like, it didn't even make sense to run it half the time even when you wanted the effect of it. You needed to have multiples for it to have an impact, and at that point you were just running an almost useless shift passive on multiple monsters on your team. So
Yeah.
it was a good buff, but it had a pretty drastic impact on the way people build teams.
Especially in conjunction with some of Tanuki's auras. Notably, it has, I think it's called Curse Transfusion. No, not Curse Transfusion. What's the 20% less
when it
debuff?
decreases the debuffs? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's the curse resistance.
Anti-curse, that's the one.
Anti-curse, yeah.
Yeah, it's got anti-curse as well, and then Master Restore, which you can use Imitate on its own Master Restore to save on mana, so even Chill doesn't slow it down from using a very expensive move.
Yeah, and Tanuki in the previous patch just had such a mess of a skill tree. It didn't make any sense. Like, it had Maniki, but it didn't have critical healing, so you couldn't really build for crit and support the team at the same time. But once it got that, it really tied together a lot of the aspects of its kit.
Yeah, and with improved assault and bolster and augmented shield, it now can apply like multiple debuffs to the entire team with every heal, and then those heals are empowered with improved assault. Those buffs. So it's really, it has a lot of strong tools.
Yeah, augmented shield in particular, I think, is just such a good passive to have. Like, every monster that has augmented shield loves to have it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It's Tanuki and Orumtail and Megatar, is that it?
Yeah, I think it's those three, yeah. And if Orumtail actually had any kind of like multi-buff, you would see it everywhere. Like, that thing
for sure
hit out buffs so quick.
I tried using it a few times as a pseudo Raduga, where you'd have it attack and then spread shields and then use those shields to buff up the team. But not having buff mastery or a multi-buff really hampers that. But DPS Raduga seems to be working out here as Cutlex grabs the first win.
There was that close call early in the game where it almost went down, and a single blind stack kind of flipped it on its head there and allowed it to stick around for the rest of the game. We see some new monsters coming out now. We've got the big guns are coming out. We got Cat Zerker now. So this is getting serious.
I know that Barrel's been saying that he likes Cat Zerker a lot in this meta, especially alongside Glory monsters.
Yeah.
Because it can bypass both Dodge and Phoenix Affinity. So I'm curious to see what it can accomplish, this team.
Yeah, that's unshifted, I think, that color palette, right? So it'll be a Great
Pearl. It's running the Great Pearl.
Which is, it's bulkier, but I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think you lose a little bit of damage off of going Dark Shift. But it might allow it to stick around longer, which could be the difference.
So the Dark Shift, you get 7% crit chance, and then 2 attack pips. I think the Grey Pearl might be about even, if not a little bit more damage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's close.
Yeah, but you lose out on that shielding that you would apply otherwise.
they're both good shifts. So
Yeah.
either way, you're going to get oh, so many dodges.
Yeah.
That's brutal. But that's
Yeah,
what happens.
it's crazy. You got a buff mastery monster in Salahammer who can just apply extra stacks of everything, including agility. So there's like really a finite amount of time before you can take out certain monsters until they're just too tanky to kill.
Yeah, and like as great as Rampede is as a monster, and it is really, really good. If you're not using your ultimate, you can really miss a lot of hits when they've got some dodge buffs on them.
Yeah, and Barrel seems to be running low on mana this round on its Rampede. He couldn't ult this past turn.
And with no
I suspect that also
Purify,
played a big part.
blind stacks are starting to add up as well. The interesting lead here because yeah, this Magma Moth got heal skills on it? I didn't quite see that.
Yeah, it has the fire shield.
Yeah, it has the fire shield. It doesn't have the
great
heal.
No, because fire shield and healing wave are both in the same tree, so usually you want to pick one or the other.
Yeah. So many buffs on Cutlex's side right now. Even if every one of those hits, it's probably not going to make it down to. It's close.
It's close there. But yeah, using the ult and then not getting the kill, and Phoenix Affinity is still waiting there.
Yeah. So now you got another 3 turns before you can use that ult again. At which point, this Reduke is going to be at 5 age stacks.
I noticed Reduke
more buffs.
Yeah, and Reduka
only got one
agility. It's using an attack, like a basic attack, so it doesn't have a weakness yet for Barrel's team to exploit.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It's a nice play, though, because you can let your Reduka just kind of safely set up and build up all these buffs and these age stacks before it gets really threatened by a strong attack.
And it seems to be fairly tanky despite being able to do respectable damage.
Yeah, I assume that's part of the thought process between going with Dark Shift Reduga over Light Shift. Is that you can kind of build more for bulk and still allow that critical apex to make up the difference in damage.
And that also makes sense then why you would take a Buckler, because getting that extra sidekick proc potentially would then also help.
So you get taunt there.
Cascade, yeah. Taunt is one of those skills where you're so happy when it happens on your side, and you're so unhappy when it happens on the other side.
Yeah. Of course, that was the difference on that turn, allowing Spinner to survive there, because it definitely would have gone down if it got doubled into there.
Yeah.
That's not a very good return on investment on that minor attack there.
Yeah. If anything, it seems that this Tanuki is carrying the defense as well, preventing all those hits through blind stacks.
Yeah. And then hard to tell, but it might be also keeping some extra blind or bleed stacks off as well. Or oh no, wait, it's
Does
Dark
it
Shift.
have Purify?
It does not. No.
It has. Yeah, it has Renewal, but I don't think it has any way to remove stacks naturally.
Yeah, so I guess Cutlex was fairly confident in the matchup not needing curse resistance for this game, and so go with the Dark Shift, which increases crit rate by, what is it, 1% or something for every buff?
Yeah, 1% per buff. I think I would have liked to see a Purifying Mace maybe on Magma Moss or Miner, just so you can get that one blind stack off that's
Yeah.
applied.
Yeah, because you know that a blind stack is coming out on all your monsters basically every turn as long as Tanuki's on the field. So if you
Yeah,
have
so
a
just
purifying mace, it clears them right away as soon as you take your first action if it's on your minor. Might as well.
yeah, and in my experience, Magmoth needs a lot of time to build up charge before it can kill as a support. So I think it might have made sense to have it there.
You still get decent stats out of it too. It's not like a
Yeah.
dead unit.
Yeah, it's got decent attack, especially. I think it's a 250 attack at level 5. So it's not bad.
Yeah, it's definitely viable even without the utility. You're still getting some value out of it. But having that passive stack every turn can be very, very helpful.
Yeah, it's hard to know what item it is running. Just because I haven't seen any debuffs removed or anything of this sort.
No. So I think the blind stack there saved Verduga from getting hit by that. It looked like it took any damage.
Yeah.
It's just rough. This is not looking good for Barrel right now. It's very tough to break.
Yeah, Barrel's also down to his last DPS, so once Cat Zerker goes down, it's going to be very hard to win from there.
Yeah, and you see here the Infinity stacks coming out on Cutlex's side first due to going second that game. Now we're moving on to game 3. Cutlex is up 2-0.
Looks like we
Barrel
see some
has
adjustment. Yeah,
see
bringing
Goblin
Goblin
Hood.
Hood.
No. Tanuki is back to light shift.
Looking at Cutlex's side, there are only 2 traditional damage dealers in Verduga and Minotaur, based on this setup at least. I think Vertrag is probably also a DPS there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Vertrag was loaded up as a dedicated DPS here.
Yeah, which is a bit uncommon, I think. Maybe the thought is that alongside a Salahammer dealing damage, it could still work. It might.
Well, with the extra glory stacks that it can get, it can take advantage of its static glory passive. Right?
That's true too.
So
yeah,
really get the double dip essentially because you don't have to build a grid, but you still get the benefit.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Of course, a big gravity can fully wipe the team if you get a little bit of combo in front of it.
That's true. I think this Glodger pick is not really working out, as sad as it is. Two of Barrel's remain damage dealers only do physical damage, and Glodger specializes in sorcery buffs.
And of course, the things it really does well is apply blind stacks and shock, which Tanuki again gets in the way of.
Yeah, at least with the shock going first, you can potentially get some damage from minor going second, but you're going to get fewer than usual, at least.
Yeah, now again, we're seeing in this game with Bard out of the way already, there's probably not any Purify. I don't think anybody had a Purifying Mace that I saw there.
I don't think so either. If anyone would have it, it would be the minor, I think.
Yeah, we see the blind sticking around there. Just very, very sad damage previews on that Glodra.
And normally, Goblin Hood is the dodgiest monster on the field whenever it's out, but right now it can't hit anything.
Yeah, Goblin Hood is very double-edged sword as far as dodge goes, because you're going to dodge a lot of hits, but if your opponent can dodge too, you can just sit there wildly shooting arrows past each other's heads.
There goes another taunt. Interesting that he was targeting Glodra there. Probably because he doesn't want to have to deal with the magic resistance.
Yeah, I'm assuming here at this point, when you're looking at Goblin Hood, you're thinking, I'm not going to knock that thing out. Like, there's no way. So I may as well just take away all of its partners.
The thing about Goblin Hood is that it can function as a combo builder if need be. So even taking out a support doesn't necessarily leave your opponent that crippled.
Yeah, especially if it has Antipode and all the debuff on hit.
It seems to. It doesn't seem to be getting many procs though. Probably curse resistance to think for that.
Yeah. Once again.
I mean, everyone was saying buff Tanuki, and it's finally buffed, and now everyone's saying nerf Tanuki.
Yeah. Monkey finger curling on the hand.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I think
Cutlex hasn't had to make a single adjustment the entire set so far. And
has a monster even been knocked out at this point? I think it's just been Tanuki, Salhammer, Verduga.
Yeah.
Oh.
These previews are not looking good.
Just casual 50% dodge rate on everything.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Barrel here. I understand leading with Goblin Hood to be able to keep a damage dealer around, but Bard being so squishy kind of tanked that game plan, I think, a little bit too much.
Yeah, it just... when you have to rely on something that goes down so quickly, part of the game plan is up.
Where were those taunts earlier when Bard was still alive?
Yeah, I mean, this is the good news for Barrel here, right? Like, you have your Miner and your Hood very set up at this point. They've got lots of buffs. They work really well together. They can protect each other, right? So maybe you take this into infinity, you can start getting some good rolls go your way. Like, here we go, right?
Oh, there's the first kill.
And I think Hood is in pretty good shape as far as taking out Toad and Minotaur here, right? Because they're both fire.
They're both weak to fire, yeah.
So if you can do that, start rolling, pick up a couple knockouts in a row, maybe you can turn this thing around.
Well, depending on what skills Verduga has, taking out Minotaur might not even be good for Goblin Hood. Because if it can get buffed up really fast the turn it comes out, if Verduga has critical boon, yeah, it can counter and kill potentially.
Yeah, because it would be hitting Goblin for weakness with that hit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see, what's this Verdrag gonna do? Does it
Just
have
that he didn't
water?
bring out Toad.
Yeah, we could see an Ice Hail here to try and take out Goblin Miner. That would be kind of my first thought. Bringing out Verdrag here. Of course, no Veil.
It seems he really wants to get rid of that Glodra. And it lives on a thread.
Just enough dodges to live another day. That's been the name of the game. This match is just who's getting their dodges and who isn't.
And even the Verdrag that just came in still has 50% dodge.
Yeah, and of course it's got its mana potential working for it now, increasing that bulk beyond what it would normally be.
Yeah, mana potential is such a good shift.
And it's already got 3 channel stacks on it, so it's not going to be spending a whole lot of mana every turn. So that mana potential is going to stay nice and high for it as well.
If anything, it's just going to keep getting higher. Are we going to see gravity?
We do have the infinity stacks out, so it's that extra 25% damage on this gravity that's coming out. The thing it takes out is Glowdra, which is probably not what Cutlex wanted to see, but it does at least take out one more monster, which is...
Cutlex has been focusing Glowdra, so maybe it is what they wanted to see. Maybe they were scared of the Glowdra spinner combo.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair too, yeah. Oh, it is enough.
Oh, and it dies to the bleed.
Spinner making an impact immediately when it comes in.
Yeah, this tether that it applied with its ult was really crucial there for allowing Goblin Hood to get just enough hits to kill there,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you lower that dodge a little bit. Very nice turn for Barrel there. And this spinner should still have concealed active, right? It just came in.
Yeah, it just came in this round.
Oh, but, well, I suppose Glowdra doesn't really care about that because it's got Spark Shout.
Yeah, and Whirlwind.
Yeah.
So even if it doesn't want to leave itself weak to water, which Goblin Hood has, it can still use Whirlwind and avoid the dodge.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's probably enough to take out a spinner in here. Even with Grey Pearl, it's not going to resist a 8H stack Raduga with 30 buffs or whatever on it.
Yeah.
But it's taken a while to lock in this move, so maybe not. Oh, that's probably enough to kill 3 spinners.
It's curious that he didn't use Whirlwind. Maybe that's what he was debating, which skill to use.
Yeah, it might have been thinking,
freeze.
what if this gets taunted? Maybe I should water move just in case.
Yeah.
Then spinner resists water, so it's not going to hit the knockout if you do go through it. So.
That's true. I suspect, though, that Whirlwind would have been enough, and then it wouldn't have been resisted by Minor.
Yeah, that was probably part of that decision, taking the time to lock in there. Pretty good damage there for going second.
Yeah, if Goblin Hood can get enough Sidekick procs and Antipode procs, he could potentially kill Raduga. Although 55% dodge is still 55% dodge.
Yeah, I like just taking the knockout on Toad there, so you get the taunt off the field and don't let it set up anymore.
Yeah, I think he's gonna Barrel is gonna need a taunt here.
Yeah,
I think have any shot of winning.
This Rampede is 100% going down if it gets targeted and doesn't have the taunt save.
I'm curious if Minotaur does any significant damage yet, or if it needs a turn to buff up. Using the AoE to avoid the taunt, that's smart.
And even going second, it's still enough to take out the ring.
And then the Minotaur kills the Minor.
Just boxed it up.
Yeah, and that's it for the finals.
Yeah, just a dominant performance there from Cutlex. That's very impressive what we saw just now.
Yeah, I don't think many people would expect DPS Raduga to carry so much. It was...
Yeah, that's looking at the teams, that was not what I would have expected before anything else, but you saw it worked there really well. So
I think it had a couple of things going in its favor between Rampede's magic weakness and having elemental flexibility, as well as being able to hide when it even has weakness, right? As we saw in that second game. It definitely showed its flexibility.
Yeah, just a great performance there from Cutlex, and very well done for both of these players to get to the finals. They both had really good runs.
Yeah, excellently done by both players.
Thanks for joining.